Every time I pull up at the let out, it's a spectacle.
All right. Okay. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of The Let Out. We got a wonderful show for you today. We have my co-host, Sylvia. We have my other co-host, Alicia. And, of course, me, Will, a.k.a. Bob. Good show. Want to start off with, we hope everybody's being healthy and staying abreast on what's going on with the coronavirus. We'll get into that a little bit later. But we wanted to kind of start it off with asking or talking about the hot topic, which is it's the anniversary to Nipsey's death, and we kind of want to go over his legacy and just kind of talk about everything that's surrounding his legacy and his family and things like that. And what are your thoughts on his legendary status? So I'll start with you, Sylvia. You can let me know what are your thoughts on the Nipsey Hussle.
Well, honestly, I knew of him prior to his death. And honestly, it was because I knew he dated Lauren London. I knew he was a rapper, but I really didn't listen to him that much. I'm not really on the newer age rappers as I am old school, so I wasn't really inclined to listen to him. However, it's sad that I only learned of his greatness and all his contributions or how good he was, when he died. They say give people their flowers while they're here. Well, unfortunately, for a lot of people now that know him, only learned about his greatness or his legendary status since he's been dead. But I will say, from a perspective of a female dating a male, he has been something, because even a year later, her love for him is still the same. They weren't even married, and her love for him is just as deep as it was as if he was still here. For the fact that California as a whole, or what is the name of the area that he was from?
Crenshaw.
Yeah. And the place where his story is.
Yeah, that's Crenshaw.
Yeah, but I was looking for the street name.
Slauson. Is it Slauson?
Yeah, it's Slauson.
Yeah, the way they came together as a whole lets you know that how important he was to that community. And sometimes when there's like unsung heroes, as I like to call them, because people in their community, know of their goodness, but the people outside of their community doesn't know. It doesn't make them any less great than people that are well known. So I'm here for it. Right. Like every year, I'm here for it. Lift him up. He was, in their eyes that knew him real well, he was a black king. So lift him up every year, all year, whenever you feel like you want to. I'm here for it.
Right. Okay. Awesome. Alicia?
My co-sign everything that she said. I think I probably got familiar with him too initially because of Lauren London. She was at that time kind of the bigger celebrity between the two. Then I did start hearing some of his songs, some of his music. I did like it, but it really wasn't until after he passed, he died, and that's when I really tried to delve into his music, and it was really good. And he had depth to what he was talking about.
Right.
It wasn't the mumble rap. He was one of the few that really stood for what he spoke about. Respected by his peers, respected in his community. They say you can go to any hood. He was the real representation of you can go into any hood and be straight. I just think that he was just a all-around stand-up guy. I think he had a really bright future ahead of himself. I loved how he was inspiring not just the youth, but people his age and older. He was just different. I can't even explain it. He was just different. He had a different aura, a different something about him. They say that he was too good for this place. And in a lot of what they say, I agree. When you listen to some of his old interviews, he was just on some different stuff. He wasn't just trying to rap. He was trying to use the money from rap to go ahead and support other businesses, to help out other people in his community, and to kind of continue to pass the torch on. So whether or not he was a legend by music, in the streets, and as a man, he was definitely a legend. I don't care what his sales were before death. It's the impact that his life had, and even his existence has after death. So yes, he is a legend, 100% in my books.
So do you guys think that that in the light of what has happened to him and his story and how he was treated, because this happens a lot, not saying just in the African American community, just saying period. Our greats are done this way, and I think for you guys, does it turn a light on? Does it spark something to say, I need to be more cognitive of what, who I'm missing, who I'm letting slip through the cracks, what I'm noticing, and letting these good people slip away. Because I think it happens a lot. And it's not saying that you have to know that because of music, but we got to start recognizing our kings and queens a lot earlier, instead of, because that gives off a pseudo vibe when it happens that way. And it's like, oh, well, when they were alive, where were you then? And I get it. Sometimes, you don't recognize certain people. You can't see everybody, right? We know that. However, you do have to think about the fact that, does this put something on our antenna and our radar to say, let me stop letting these good people slip by and recognizing people. And that even goes to our personal lives. I think we do that even in our personal lives. You see people, you can tell who fucked up the most by the person at the funeral who dipped over the casket harder. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you didn't do something when that person was alive. And because most of the time when you hear at funerals, you hear people tell stories to enlighten people on what the person was, and they're all, they'll cry a little bit, but they're humble because they understand really in depth who that person was. But then so many people that they missed out on Nipsey, I mean, like, and they didn't get it into the back end, and then it's kind of misleading, because now people look at you like, well, yeah, you might see it now, but look what y'all did to this man when he was living. Nobody bought his music. Nobody paid attention. I'm not saying nobody in a sense, but I'm saying nobody in the sense of the amount of people.
I was gonna say, because he made his first million off of his mixtapes.
No, he did, but he did because he had a following. Don't get me wrong. I was one of them. I mean, I wasn't an avid follower, but I started following him probably about a year and a half before his death, and then when that last album came out, I just loved it. So, and then when that happened, that's why I was kind of like in shock. So I just kind of want to see if you guys, if it struck you in your personal lives to maybe change the narrative of how you do things, even in your household. Because one of my topics actually that I didn't bring up was actually segueing into, just people in your personal lives, telling them who they are to you and what they mean to you while they're here. And we don't do enough of that. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that with the people that he surrounded himself with, I think that they told him how they felt about him on a regular basis. Like, I don't think that he passed in any way, shape, or form not knowing how loved and respected he was by his crew. Like, even if you look back at their Instagram pages for years,
right? Like,
they shouted him out in how much they respect him, how much he's done for them, how much love that they have for him. He did the same thing as far as to them. So I definitely think that because he was one that he went ahead and he shined light on people, I think that they reciprocated and did the same thing to him. So I don't think that he may have been known on a national level as far as his music was concerned, but I think that he was definitely getting there. But I think that what people knew about what he did in the streets and for his neighborhood and for his community, I think that respect level was there. The interviews I saw when he was still alive, as he was kind of garnering that fandemonium.
Right.
I don't even know if that's a word, but when he was really going ahead, he sounded good though. But when he was promoting the Marathon album as it was building up and promoting his store, you heard him getting the celebration and getting the props and the praise from the people that were interviewing him. And it wasn't just about music. It was what he stood for, his principles, his morals, what he did in his community, how he tried to help people. He went ahead and gave jobs to people that were ex-felons and homeless. And he treated everybody, no matter where their level was, with the same level of respect. And they showed love to him. So no, I don't think that, for me, I don't think it changed how I interact with people, because he definitely got his flowers while he was here. Like 1,000%, he got his.
So now, why is it so hard? Why is it so hard? Because I mean, like, we can do that in our personal lives. Like there's people that, we have relationships that have a disconnect, but especially those that are close, I think that we get so accustomed to being around people and having them
take it for granted. You take it for granted that they will be here. From a personal perspective, 2 years ago, I lost my cousin suddenly, and it was she was like my little sister. Like, she seriously grew up. Like, I was attached to her mom when I was little. When I got older, she was younger. She was attached to me. It was like Mary had a little lamb. Wherever I went, I had to take her with me.
Right.
And we've had some knockdown drag outs. There were times, it was like periods of time, like 6 months, 7 months. We didn't even speak to each other, talk to each other. Whatever it was that we had an issue with, we brushed it off, picked it right back up where we left off, and that was that. You know, I knew, and I find comfort, and I knew she knew how I felt about her because, you know, anytime there was something that was going on with her, I'm always calling, what's going on? Do I need to come? What's the business? Do we need to handle? Whatever like that. But I never told her just how much she meant to me. Like, you know, we knew we had each other back. Whenever I went home, we always hung out, you know, whatever. But the last thing that she did say, which is so ironic, the last time I saw her, which was 5 days before she was killed, she was getting ready to leave. We were at the Mardi Gras ball. She was getting ready to leave. And me and a group of ladies that I was talking to, the last thing she said to us before she got in the car, she was like, love y'all. We was like, love you too. And the oddest thing that I did was watched her till I couldn't cool off, so I couldn't see her anymore. Not knowing that would be the last time that I would see her. But after that, I know I went up a lot of notches with making sure that it'll be a random text that I'll send, saying, hey, just thinking about you, just know that I love you, or I'm proud of you, or whatever.
Right.
Like I've sent a million random texts because I don't want it to ever because I felt like I didn't get a chance to tell her this, but ironically, about a year later, she came to me in my dream, and I told her in my dream how I felt, and ironically, that was the catalyst to my healing. Like I still have to go through that,
Right.
but because of that situation, I totally get what you're saying now. But it's sad that it took a tragic situation to make me realize that I need to tell these people that mean the most to me how much I appreciate them, how much I'm proud of them, you know, just encourage or whatever. But yeah, it definitely went up a whole lot of notches for me after that.
Awesome. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. So the next topic, I think we did pretty much that. I'll just say the last I guess, word on the Nipsey thing. I think that he was a legend to those who knew him. I think he was. I think what made him a legend to people that didn't know him is, regardless to whether I know you or not, the story of a legend is the story of a legend at the end of the day. And if I don't recognize it, you know, on this day, that's what a legacy is all about. I can leave something behind that lets you know who I was when I was living. So that in itself makes you a legend. I think that we had this discussion before, and even myself was, you know, kind of puzzled about the thoughts of his legacy, and as far as him being legendary in that sense, because he didn't sell as many records. And then when you go back and you think about it and you say, you know what, the story is what is legendary, and what he did was legendary. The fact that people found out later is just unfortunate, but you know, it's always, as the saying goes, better late, you know, than never, right? So
yes, Will, come on, Will, yes,
hey man,
break it down,
Great.
break the legendary status down.
It's growth. Let me go back off that growth a little bit. Let's get to the next topic. And I want to know, would you date a person that doesn't want to have sex before marriage? If you were marketable, would you date a person that just says, you know what, our wedding date today is, you know, I've been knowing you for 6 months or a year. Let's say this person's a year. I've been knowing you for a year. As far as dating.
But clarity. So that means that nothing's never, like you've never.
Nothing's happened. Nothing's happened because marriage takes time, right? You can't, like most people, they'll have a date, so they have to get to know you first before they.
No, what I'm saying, but what I'm asking is, for clarity for your question, that means they've never slept together. Like it's not that they slept together. They say, hey, okay.
No, they never. So what I'm saying is the time span between when they meet, they go through the dating thing, and then they set a date for marriage. So let's say they do it in 8 months because he wants to get married, or she, and now you got another 6 or 7 months before the actual wedding. Are you dating that person?
I know someone that actually did it.
Okay.
I can't say that I can't or I won't, because you can't say what you won't do and what you can't do if you've never been in that situation.
Right.
I ain't gonna necessarily say that I absolutely won't, but I will say that I've never been presented with that opportunity. So, yeah, I'm gonna just say that I don't know. I'm not gonna say that I can or I won't. There's always a possibility, but I've never been presented with that situation, so I can't give you 100% truthful answer.
Okay. All right. Alicia?
I mean, I would, because it's sex. it's a big part of the relationship, but it's not the most important. I think sometimes
we can wait.
We can
wait.
You.
I think it depends on your.
Wait a minute.
It depends on your level of maturity and sometimes your age. But I mean, with having clarity now, with where I'm at, no, sex is not the end all be all. I could definitely wait. And wait on somebody that. Hey, we'd have to cross that boat once we get there.
I'll wait on the gummy worm. Wait.
See,
I mean, because
that's the thing.
I mean, but I believe in the soul ties thing. I believe also that a lot of us have stayed in toxic relationships because sex was so good, and that intimacy can confuse and blind you to really see that you are in a hell of a toxic relationship that you need to get out of. That is something that's not going to lead anywhere or shouldn't lead anywhere. So I think not having sex allows you to really go ahead and take your time to get to know the person. And you'll never know anybody 100%, but it allows you to take the time to go ahead and take that off of the table and to see what you're really working with and to look at that person with like a clear eye, a clear mind.
I agree with all of that. Everything you said, I agree with it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think from, I mean, let's take this off the table. You don't know what you know now.
I still would have an issue with it.
You still wouldn't?
No, I still would. Even if I don't know, but I know now, I still wouldn't have an issue with waiting. I think that the idea that the payoff might be so amazing, which is getting a wonderful person
with some garbage sex. No, a wonderful person with some garbage ass sex. Yo.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
judging off, I'm sorry, I'm gonna let you go, but judging off what I know now, because you know what, with all of that and we are emotional beings, you know, there's only so much you can excuse. I don't care how much you dig in everything about a person. It could be that one thing that's just be like, I don't know if I'm able to do this.
Right.
And
I mean, like what? Like, I guess.
What's wrong with test driving? I got to test drive.
Right.
I have to. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because you know, some. I don't know, man. You just can't. I mean, for me, only reason I say that is because there's so many other things that you're gonna have to deal with and encounter, and so many other rough patches that you're gonna have to deal with in the course of a relationship. That's just added. Like, and it's just, you know, when you get to the thing where it's money issues, disagreements, whatever they call them, irreconcilable differences, all of these things that you got to deal with, petty arguments, all of that, and then on top of that,
it's garbage.
It's garbage.
I mean, but it's the same thing, because once a relationship gets really bad, that's one of the first things that goes off the table anyway is sex. Ain't nobody popping nothing. Ain't nobody turning around, busting it, moving it back.
Right, but you're more inclined to do it if it's either decent or great.
No, I disagree.
You may, because if it's mediocre, right, it's easier to say, nah, I'm good. Like if you're in a household, if you're in a relationship and you're doing it, it's easier. Not saying it's not doable, very doable. Because it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, we are human and we all get accustomed to things, and things get kind of old and it needs to be refreshed. So I get it. But what I'm saying is it's easier to leave motherfucker with garbage ass sex.
Oh, yeah, that's where the infidelity come in at, because
it's so easy. It's so easy. It's so easy. Then you be like, I wonder why he wonder why he cheated down.
Oh, y'all do that anyway, even if the sex is amazing.
I'm just saying.
Don't tell that lie.
Huh?
Don't tell that lie.
I don't know, cause like what a woman may think, or a man. However, if I see my woman and she cheats down, what I consider to be down, and I might say, what the fuck did she cheat with that over this? That's me saying that. She might be saying because you ain't all that. I may think that. She may be telling me that to console or to stroke the ego, and I'm thinking like, yeah, what it is, and then it's really not all that. So it depends on.
She got this dude over here. All he do is play PlayStation all day.
That's it. Play PlayStation and got 2 joysticks and he's one person. One in his hand and one between his legs. That joystick. But now, I mean. I'm just saying. That's what people think. And some people think, and they think cosmetics, right? Or they think like superficial. And how they think superficial is, oh yeah, I'm beautiful. Why would he do that? Yeah, you might be beautiful, but somebody else over there working. And that's the thing. And that's the thing about it. So, like, to me, it's kind of. I'm a dude, so it's easier for me. I'm not like, nah, we're not doing that. We're not waiting to be married, especially me being a dude and all this shit. I feel like that I gotta take care of and deal with as a man, and I gotta do this for life, not knowing what you, and then you don't even. We get to the relationship,
but you could be missing out on the person that really is like the one that's meant for you over some pussy that could potentially be good once you find out after you're married. I mean, you're gonna go ahead you're teaching this person what you like, what you enjoy.
Right.
I mean,
which doesn't matter, because what I enjoy is sex.
And you'll have it after you marry.
But that's just not the only thing. Like, when you're dating, there's so many other things too that, in my opinion, unless you're just a sex thing, you can see the other qualities.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, all bullshit aside, you see the other stuff, but I'm saying as far as like, because again, in a relationship, if we're not having sex, again, leading up to the relationship, unless we just fairy tale out the frame, we're gonna start seeing things gradually that we dislike about a person, and that
the more you with them and you go through different scenarios and situations, shut your ass up.
No, go ahead.
The more you see, there are different situations and issues that arise. You see a person and how they react in each situation, and like, it's just not gonna be the same.
But I think if you a guy that don't want to wait, I don't think you want for me no way. So they just go ahead and let's say both of us.
What am I waiting on? That's the whole point, man. That's what I'm tired of y'all. What am I waiting on? Like, y'all really think y'all be doing something?
Let's get it over with. Good day.
But no, I think I'm with you. I think it's doable. It's just harder. It's way harder, especially with this day and age and the way that people are. It's just I'm a firm believer in traffic.
We're such an over-sexualized like world. Like the topic came up because it was Drea and Terrence J were doing like a I don't know, some kind of advice or podcast or something where they had people calling in, and it was a young lady. She was just saying like the older that she gets. Yeah, she was just saying that, hey, she's the older she gets, she wants to go ahead.
But who was taking her serious enough to even call in to get advice from her?
I mean,
okay, yeah, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
For her to say that basically a man, that's a turnoff for her, because a man wants to, and usually it's for spiritual reasons, he wants to go ahead and to save himself until he's married, or he is now celibate and he wants to go ahead and not now have sex again until he gets married. So for it to be like, hey, he could be a great man, have all the characteristics I like, but if he ain't dropping off the dick, then I'm out. Like, it's like, damn, that's all you think
but
of.
You know what? But
you gotta think about who you're dealing with too.
True. People that decide to take a vow of celibacy until they're married, pretty much know that if they don't, then it'll cloud their judgment, and they want to have a clear mind about going into who they choose to be their mate for life. And they know if they mix sex in with that, they're not gonna make the best decision. So that I can respect, and in that aspect, I'm just saying
too many women be digmatized with a man that ain't shit. Yeah. And it's like, man, and they can't even give you a clear reason of why they stand other than he got good dick. it's like, damn, and that's keeping you held into a relationship that's some trash.
Right.
But see, here's the thing, we'll talk about this on one of the episodes. Is like, and because we got to sign permission slips, but
Permission slips.
We got to sign permission slips because one of the topics that I want to talk about at some point is sex overrated. And,
it is.
And so that's why I said permission slips, because everybody on here is in relationships, so we just want to make sure that that's something that we can really pose, which I think I'm okay with it, but I know, right? So, but yeah, I think that it's just, I guess it's something that's rarity, but it is something that's doable. It's just like, because when you really deep down think about it, I guess some people could probably see it the way you see it.
I mean, because it's not as rare as we think. I think a lot of us think that good pussy, good dick will keep somebody around, and those same people get cheated on exactly the same way.
Never,
not at all.
These are facts.
No,
it will. I've seen it. I've seen it happen. And those are the situations on both ends. I'm not talking about just from a male perspective. From both ends, I've seen a dude stay just because of that reason, and I've seen women stay for that reason, which on the outside looking in seems like that reason. Let me say that. And because you can't see what other reason they would stay, and it's like, yeah, they'll say things like, "Oh yeah, because I know that person," or because this is wrong.
You hear women be like, "Girl, because the dick's so good." It's like, man,
that's what they say.
That's your standard.
Really
that's what they want.
That. Nobody's just gonna say that and let that just be the only reason.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it depends on the type of person or the type of a person, well, dude or female that it is. If that's one of them people that's all they really think about, or they feel like the people that they're talking to will accept that over anything, because that's kind of like the last crutch to stand on. Like, people feel like when you say that, that's the ultimate excuse. Like, oh, okay, well, I see it.
Not.
You know what I'm saying? That's what they think. Like, oh, I see, girl, because I ain't gonna lie. That's kind of, I think, how they think. Is like, if I say this, then I don't have to say anything else. I can just say that the sex is good. And
unless you think your box is trash, you can get that shit from elsewhere. Keep it moving.
But then it all depends on, like, also, like, just the age group. Like, for us at the age, we like, what? Come again? Like,
that's a fact.
Girl, nah, it's some old head women out here that's on some lame shit.
I mean, I know that too, but I mean, it's expected possibly from people that's younger.
Yeah,
but
anywhere under 28 and under.
Yeah, but around our age, you like, really come again. I mean, seriously.
It's old, yeah. So
yeah.
Okay. All right. So we the next thing I want to talk about is
this surprise.
Yeah, we got a surprise topic. I want to know, can you smell your own ass?
So you try to like be dogs or whatever? Like, help me understand.
No, you ain't gotta be no dog. They ain't gotta be no dog. We know smell travel. We know smell travel. I got smell. Look, let me tell you something. Smell got frequent flyer miles. We get motherfucker fly Delta first class.
I'm gonna just say this. If a person come to you and say that you have a certain type of body odor, you have smelled yourself prior to somebody else telling you, because you're going to smell you before anybody else smells you. I think some people may just be accustomed to their smell. That
I have my own scent. What the fuck?
It is not right. It's wrong. Like, you remember the video where the lady was combing the little girl hair?
Yeah.
Like it down there.
Oh yeah. Because I mean,
the lady was like, I know I'm right. Okay, so why did you sit there, the girl right there?
And sit there and let that girl put an ass on that girl back. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know it. Come on. I mean, it gets to the point where, like, at some point now, your thighs stink. You know what I'm saying? Like, it goes from ass to.
So it's just like,
what we doing?
You know how on cartoons they have the little green cloud
and the flies. Here's the thing. Now, real talk, man, because my mom always told me that. If you can smell If you smell your own ass, you know somebody else smell it. Because again, it got frequent flyer miles. The thing about it is I'm just saying, ass is strong. You can't tell me. I've been in the club and dancing with a female, and she got them shades on, got that spaghetti strap on, tearing my ass up. You hear me? Musty as. I'm just saying, like, so I'm like, okay, she dancing, like, I know she smell this shit. If I can smell it, I'm this close. She can smell it because it's going to her first. You the first recipient. Like, what we doing? Like, you gonna see
but if you still behind her while she throwing it in ass, she feel like it's all right.
That ain't cool though. Like, she do feel like it's all right.
People like that.
But she feel like
people.
Huh?
I think people like that are immune because you can have people that can leave a stench in a room and they're gone, and you're like, oh my God, if your smell is still in the room and you left, you can. I think people are just used to it. Like they become accustomed to their own misery smell. Like,
you ever got to work and realized that you let one of the shirts in the washer stay too long and then that son bitch stinking fucking?
Yeah! Yeah!
You sit there like this at yourself.
Because you like at lunch, I'm either going home and find me another shirt or I'm going
I can't do it.
Store.
I can't do it. I'm gonna tell you, you know what? And what's funny is I'll try to.
And you'll smell it today.
Man, smelling like straight, like smelling like Dolce & Gabbana and shirt, fool. Just fucked off over here. Just
everywhere you go, you wonder why it's stinking.
Man, that was you. So sour as a motherfucker.
Oh my God.
I was at work on my computer one day, man, and fuck around and smelled my own ass. I'll tell you something. Smell my own ass. Do you hear me? I want to send myself home. I'm
people
like,
know. People know. I used to work with this girl. People know years ago when I was like, 19. And she knew she was thinking. She would baby powder. I know she probably got cervical cancer now because, you know, Johnson's baby powder give you cancer. She got to have it. She would put so much baby powder in them panties. It was coming through her jeans. No lie. No lie. And it still used to be stinking.
So she baking bread.
Man.
You know what? Here back to
that thing looked up under there.
No,
she wasn't accustomed to it because she knew it. She was trying to manage.
That's how it looked up under there.
All
that baby powder. It looked just like.
I mean, think about it as women. How many times have we gone into the bathroom to use the restroom, whether they be at work or somewhere out, and I try not to use it out if I don't have to, but at work, and you come in there and the smell, it ain't
still in there.
But
it's still in there and they're gone.
I know about y'all.
That's what I'm saying. It was this one person in particular that all three of us know. I think she was accustomed to her smell.
Really?
Alicia?
Oh, stop. Don't you watch this podcast, baby. You won't know just who you are.
I'm just saying.
I was in the bathroom one day and somebody smelled so motherfucking. I mean, they smell so stank. It smells so much like ass. They was in there, you shitting. I'm like, okay, at this point, I would rather smell your shit. Like, if I gotta pick my poison, I smell your shit. This person was so stanky in the bathroom, I was trying to smell my own piss.
Dang.
To keep from smelling that, I'm like this, so I can get up out of there and watch. Sad, dog.
That's bad, and I'm just
man.
People.
And I told you about the time where I was working at I don't know if I can say it. I was working at Spectrum. Is it Spectrum? Compact? I was working somewhere shit, and this man came in. He was so stink. It was pee. It smelled like months of pee. Months. And so the young lady beside me helped him out, and he was real rank, but I just held my breath. So she left out, and he came back in to ask some questions. So I held my breath. He had the whole lobby, the doorway. It was to the point to where it was suffocating. So I finally hold my breath. I'm stepping back as I'm talking to him. I'm all the way back. Literally, I'm back at the door. He back at the counter. I'm talking to him. He come back in. I see him in the line. I just start crying. Literally. He was so stinky.
You couldn't handle it.
I could. My coworker was like, "Are you crying?" know. It was so bad.
Yo, I want to ask this though. I have like since the corona, right? Have either one of you been like out to the grocery store or anything like that?
Every day.
Every day? Yeah, because you're trying to make sure you
almost.
get a little here and there's every time you can because they out of stuff.
Yeah.
But do you find yourself like when you walking by somebody hold your breath?
The way they
Certain
look,
ones I do have to.
the way they look depends on what they got on the way they look it up in the store. Yeah. If they look like they been in them same pajamas or what clothes, whatever, for a few days because they ain't going nowhere, yes, without hesitation, because I'm not trying to walk into that cloud. Whatever, I don't care. Shit.
Now, some people just have to smell anyway, whether it's corona or not. They have an aroma.
I was just gonna say it's aroma. Yeah.
I ain't trying to smell it. I'm not here for it.
Yeah, but all right. So that's the end of the topics that I have for today. But I did want to kind of end on my note is just end on. I know that Corona is affecting a lot of lives and not everybody is able to work or continue working. So just kind of wanted to offer a couple of tips on what you can do to make some extra money. Women, you know what you can do. Put the money away from my live and get $1,000. But no, there's a couple of things that you can do. Of course, if you don't mind being around people, if you got a mask and things like that, you can still Uber drive. People still need rides. You can do a lot of homeschooling is going on. I've heard a lot of that in my job, or people are doing homeschooling. So if your academia is high, then you can actually tutor.
You want to specify if your academia is high.
Right, you got it. It got to be right. You can't be around here, motherfucker. C student producing other C student. But there's a lot of homeschooling. So if knowledge is one of your things, you could do that. A lot of people are, like she said, grocery stores every day. You got older people who don't want to take that risk. So they have little things like Instacart, grocery programs, or grocery delivery services, things like that. The food delivery, you still got like what is DoorDash, Uber Eats. I think it's still hot. Yeah, it's still hot because hey, I'd rather just have you put some gloves on, drop my food off, than me get out here and go in it and risk my mom.
I don't know that because they've been showing these folks eating people's food or whatever, and I don't want you opening my food, you coughing in it, you touching it.
Yeah, that's true, but I mean, like, you got to think people. It's one of those things where, again, you got to pick your poison. Like, you take your chance. Hey,
that's a 50-50 chance either way. So I'm just gonna go do my own shit.
So but think about it this: if you're already old and a little slow,
yeah, right.
So
you ain't gonna want to do it,
right? And so, and then just go online and research some things that you can do as well for yourselves to make sure that you and your families are okay during this crisis. And we hope that everybody stays healthy. Nice shirt you got on, Sylvia.
Yes. One of my making money while we're in the COVID-19 quarantine. It says I am one dope chick. Okay. Yes, I am. Yep. You can get that. Yeah, you can find that at Shop 727 on Instagram.
Okay.
727.com online.
Awesome. Alicia, any last words? Anything you want to shout out anybody or anything like that?
No, just encourage everybody while we are all, holed up in the house to go ahead and try to be as productive as possible. Just in filming these podcasts, not that I didn't know already, but you really get to see how much weight you've put on. So one of the things that I'm doing, because I am working from home, is just getting up a little bit earlier, working out, working out on my lunch break. I'm going to try to work out a little bit before I go to bed tonight, since I'm at the house. Try to get healthy food as much as you can, because they're buying a lot of meat, but you still have so many vegetables and fruits, making some smoothies. You have all the health meals that's out there. Just take advantage of this time that you have. The gyms are closed. Yep, water. So I'm trying to come out of this whole thing about 30 pounds lighter. So hey, join with me. Let's watch my journey with me.
Come on. She said 30 pounds lighter. I want to be just maintained. If I'm just maintained, I'm fine.
Right. You don't want to gain none. You don't want to come out with a plus. Yeah.
I'm trying to shake out 30, y'all. So come on with me on this weight loss journey, everybody, viewers.
I'm already with you.
Hey, in the comments,
I'm not, let me know. And I'm not there mentally, so I'm not gonna even commit.
Hey, there you go. But no, I'm not with the 30. I can't do 30. I don't want to look like the old days.
3, 30.
Yeah.
1,
I'm
2.
looking for like 6, maybe 7 pounds though.
All you gotta do is take a laxative, and there you go.
Nah, babe, I'm full of shit, so it'll probably be a little bit more than that.
Amen.
That was my point. That was my point.
So I do want to give a last minute shout out to our garbage ass co-host Chris for not showing up this time. We'll see him next time.
With the excuse.
We'll see him next time. He's somewhere eating, doing nothing with his life. How you?
Nah, he just loosening up the neck on all his shirts. He's stretching them all out.
You know, they're taking the hairline over further to the side over there.
Yes.
He gonna come back, that thing gonna be there.
Trying to make sure that stash is right. So that mustache it'll been down through there and come back.
True
All
that.
right. Okay, so this has been a good one, guys. I want to thank the audience for tuning in with us. Like my co-host said, subscribe. Put your comments down below. Tell us what you think about the topics. We're going to continue giving you this love.
Turn your notifications on.
Turn your notifications on when you subscribe so that you can see the new videos when they come out. We're looking to do bigger and better things, and we're going to keep getting, we're going to keep spicing it up, keep it good, keep great content for you guys. And I want to thank you for tuning in with us on The Let Out. Bye, guys.
Peace.
Bye.
That was so okay. All right, bye, guys.
Go to hell, bro.
Every time I pull up at the let out, it's a spectacle. Every time I pull up at the let out, it's a spectacle.